My favorite gumbo is shrimp and okra gumbo. Let me show you how I do it. I'm going to start by getting some okra in the oven to roast. And I could not find any fresh okra, so I'm using frozen, and that's okay. I'm going to put a generous amount of olive oil and sprinkle with Tony Chacheres. Then I'll stick this in the oven at 350 and roast it for 2 to 3 hours. And I'm not using any kind of tomato sauce or diced tomatoes because roasting it for that long kind of helps cut the slime. So into the oven with our okra. And here is our shrimp, and these are fresh off the boat. Seriously, fresh off the boat from Delcambre, Louisiana. My parents have a friend who's a shrimper, and he called and said, I got some shrimp, come get some. So here I went ahead and cleaned and deveined them. And I'm going to make a stock because that will make the gumbo better. You can see there's that shrimp fat in there. That's good stuff. So all I'm going to do to make my stock is fill the pot with water and put a little Tony's. And I'm going to bring it up to a boil, and then I'll turn the heat off and strain it. I'm going to go ahead and get my shrimp seasoned, and that will sit for a few minutes while I chop my onions and get my roux started. This is about 2 to 2.5 pounds of shrimp. So here you see my onions, green bell pepper, celery, and a little bit of garlic. To start my roux, I'm going to add half a cup of oil and half a cup of flour to a heated pot. And if you've watched my channel, you've seen me make a roux before. You get your oil and flour in the pot and you just stir it. Stir it and you watch for it to change to the color that you're looking for. So when I make a roux for a shrimp gumbo, I usually go lighter with my roux. And so the color I'm looking for is not quite chocolate, kind of more of like a peanut butter color. And so once I get to that color, and I'm just stirring on medium heat, so this takes about 20-30 minutes, probably closer to 20. I'm going to add my shrimp. And when you're cooking shrimp for other dishes, you usually don't cook the shrimp very long, but the way that I was taught how to cook it for a gumbo is you roast the shrimp in the roux. And so I'm going to end up cooking this shrimp for about 20 minutes or so in the roux. And that's to just infuse the flavors of the shrimp into everything. So once my shrimp are about halfway cooked, I add my onions, celery, and bell pepper. And so by the time the onions are cooked, and I can see that they're clear, that's when I'm going to add my liquid. And if you notice, I'm trying not to mash my shrimp. I'm just flipping them when I stir. So I added garlic, and you can see the shrimp are pretty much cooked at this point. And if it starts to stick, it's no big deal. You just move the shrimp to the side and you kind of get that roux that has stuck to the bottom of the pot. And you can see the shrimp are all the way cooked now. And here's my stock. So I'm adding 2 cups to start. I add a little bit at a time because I want to see the consistency. So this is 2 cups. And I am trying to get the roux, as much of the roux off the sides of the pot as I can. So you can see when I stir, it's pretty thick. And if I were making a shrimp stew, I might stop here. But I'm making a gumbo, so I need to add more liquid. So more stock, or yes, shrimp stock. And I'm adding more because I know that it's gonna reduce. So I think I ended up adding about 5 to 6 cups of the shrimp stock. And once all my liquid is in, I'm gonna let it come to a boil. So here is my okra. It has been in the oven for about 2 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it. And you can see it's still a little slimy, but that's okay. And here is my gumbo. And we're gonna go ahead and serve some up. I made a pot of rice, Louisiana rice. And here is the shrimp gumbo. And I cooked the okra separately because my kids don't eat it. But you can definitely add the okra to your gumbo while it's in the pot. So here is my roasted okra, and I put it in the oven for another hour after you just saw. And so then you can kind of just mix it all up. And there is my favorite gumbo in the world, shrimp and okra gumbo. So good, especially when it gets cold outside. So thank you so much for watching, and if you give it a try, let me know what you think.